You can't get results because of inconsistent workouts. I know we've all said or you've heard it's mainly nutrition and it's mainly calories in, calories out. But the truth is, your workouts are inconsistent. You are changing too often. You don't know exactly what you're doing. There's no structure. There's no periodization. There's no progressive overload. There's no tracking what you're doing. It's just random. It's all over the place. One of the things that I see a lot is, especially amongst people that start out, go to the gym every day, do full body every day, have no reasons why they're doing specific things, and the things they're doing lack structure. So let's talk about some things you can do to not only simplify what you're currently doing, but actually have structure, keep that structure so that it can help you program as you move forward. So, the first thing I'll mention to you is you need goals. You need to have direction you're going. Are you trying to gain size? Are you attempting to lose body fat? Are you trying to get strong, athletic? You need to define what your goal is. From there, you can then know what direction to go. Okay, you need a goal. All right, goals that are short and goals that are long term. So, what are you going to be doing on a weekly basis? Then, how does that week turn into the month, 2 months, then 3 months, right? And after that 4 months period, that's when you can, I guess, have results to compare to when you started. So you need to define what you want. Okay, are you trying to lose body fat? Are you trying to get more size? Are you trying to get more athletic? Are you looking to build your endurance? It can't be everything. It can't be everything because you're going to set yourself up for failure. So you need to define a goal and be specific and direct, especially as a beginner. Later on, once you gain experience and once you've attempted things, then you have a good foundation to then branch out. But in the beginning, you need to be very specific and cutthroat clear with what you want. The next step, once you establish that goal, you need to figure out what that goal entails. So, what things you need to be doing. So, if your goal is to be stronger, what do you think that means? It means that you may have to get to a point you're doing weights that challenge you between 5 to 1 to 5 reps. Okay, those are weights that are going to be heavier. Those are weights that you're not going to be able to do 8 reps plus. So that's what you have to keep in mind. What type of exercises would you most likely be challenging yourself with those rep ranges? Your compound lists. Compound lists are lists that target multiple muscle groups, and compound lists transfer over well to all different exercises, and it gives you a good base. So you got your bench, deadlift, squats, overhead press. Those are your compound lifts. Those are lifts you typically do to gain foundational strength. Okay. So if your goal is for strength, you will have to, at some point, do those 4 compound lifts. It's your goal endurance. That means that you may have to do higher reps. You may have to do more cardio. It's your goal to get more muscular. So this means that you're going to have to focus more on picking weight that are challenging enough, but not too challenging, to do rep ranges between 8 to 12 reps, multiple sets, little resting time, focusing on contraction and retraction every single rep to have the mind muscle connection. So you see what I mean? So each goal demands something different that you're doing. So once you know your goal and once you know what each goal entails for you to do, that's when you structure a program. Okay. Typically, I recommend most programs 4 days a week. Okay. That way you can hit your upper body twice, lower body twice. And if you can implement a cardio day in there, that's great. So you have a 4 day split. Okay, for most strength programs, it works. For most bodybuilding programs, it works. But it may be different for strength and conditioning or any type of conditioning type of program. So this is why it's really key for you to know exactly what you want. Okay, once you do know what you want, the next step is to establish what needs to be done versus the goal that you have. Okay, the next goal you have to establish, or the next thing you have to establish, is how you need to eat to cater to the goal that you have. So if you're trying to gain size, you know that you have to eat more than what is required to maintain your weight. If you know I have to gain strength, you know I have to eat more as well. If you know you're trying to be more efficient with your performance, you know you have to eat more, but eat certain micronutrients more. So for athletes, for example, they eat a lot of carbohydrates, which will fuel their workouts because they need to be able to perform. Okay. For somebody that needs to gain size and muscle, it may not really matter as much, but what really would matter is just being in the calorie surplus. For somebody that needs to gain strength, it's similar to the person that needs to have better performance. You see what I mean? So the training and the nutrition has to match the goal. That is the next one. The next phase of what I want to speak on is once you establish what program you're going to do, how the eating is going to be compared to the goal that you have, you need to know now how you're going to not only like transition um, like with the structure of the program that you have, but what will be next. So essentially, you got your training, you got how you're going to eat. Now, what are you going to do when you hit plateaus, for example, or how are you going to progress, basically? So this week you may start with 100 pounds. If your goal is to get to 400, how are you going to get there? So how are you going to increase each week, type of thing? So how is the program going to progressively overload you to the goal that you have? Okay. So it's not just about knowing what exercises to do and how to eat, but also how to progress to where you're trying to get, right? And from there, once you know that, once you know what you're gonna do when you become stale or when you plateau, how you're gonna progress, what will be the next thing after? Okay, so this is what I mean, folks. It's very complex, more complex than you think. Okay, what will be the next thing after you've gotten your goal, you have your program, you know what you're gonna eat, you know what you're gonna do to progress, and you know what to do when you hit plateaus. What's next after that? It doesn't end, right? So you seeing the context now of why most people aren't progressing? You're not going into that much detail. You're not thinking about things from a long term sense. You want the results now, but you don't even know what you want. You know what I mean? And that is key. So that is just a short explanation. Well, not really that short, but this is just a basic explanation on why you're not progressing because you're not consistent. You're not consistent in your workouts, right? And one way to help you to get consistent with your workout is know what you want first. You need to know that goal. And then from there, you need to know what to do to get to that goal, which will mean the actual training and then the nutrition. And from there, you need to stick with it for at least 3 to 4 months, and then you can think about changing. But that is why most of you aren't seeing progress because you're not sticking to what you want, right? You want to cut this week, but next week you want to bulk. You want to be athletic this week, but next week you want to be strong. You need to pick one, stick with it for 4 months, and then switch. That is what I mean. I could have said that at the beginning of the video, but I want to get into detail so that you at least know what goes into it. But that's it for the video. So I want to say one more thing, or I want to review one more time. First, you need to establish a goal, short and long term. Second, based on the goal that you have, you need to have things that you're going to be doing as far as the training to cater to the goal. With that is also going to be how you eat to cater to the goal. Next, How are you going to progress each week to cater to the goal? Then, what are you going to do when you hit plateaus? And lastly, did you stick to it for 3 to 4 months before switching? That's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe if you found value in this video. Stay tuned for more videos. May God bless you. I'll see you next time.